In this movie, I'm going to explain how to write a conditional statement. If you'd like to follow along, I'm in writing.fla in the Chapter 6 folder of the exercise files. Let's take a look at the code that we have so far. You can open up the Actions panel. So all we have is our border underscore MC. That's the name of the border instance on the stage. We added event listener called mouseEvent.click, and the onClick event handler will handle that event. So, if inside this event I type event.target, that'll be referring to border underscore MC because that's what's listening for the event. .y space minus equals space 100 semicolon. If I type that and I test the movie, every time I click the border, it'll go up 100 pixels, never coming back down. What if we wanted to control that? If he's in the air, click him and he comes back down. If he's down, then click him, he goes up into the air. Let's control that using a conditional statement. I'm going to click before border underscore MC in line 1 and press enter a few times to go down a few lines. Let's go all the way up to line 1 and create a variable. Now, why did I push everything down instead of writing the variable underneath? Reason being is because A, it's a pretty good practice to create variables that you're going to be using all throughout your code at the top of your code. We also want to have our code organized, and you want to be consistent with the way you organize your code, and I always have my variables at the top, so I just like to stick with that. So I have var and then a space, and then I'm going to call this variable jumping. And this is going to hold a true or false value that will tell me if he's in the air or if he's on the ground. So type a colon, then type boolean with capital B, B-O-O-L-E-A-N, space equals space, and then we'll set this with initial value to false, and a semicolon. Because when we start the movie, he's in the snow, he's not in the air. Then we can modify the jumping variable as we click on the snowboarder. Let's go inside of our onClick event handler, and then just erase event.target.y, and then type the word if, open parenthesis. Now type jumping, close parenthesis. When you type a conditional statement, you type the word if. The thing that you put in the parentheses is the condition, and that needs to be true or false. Now, when I say jumping and I'm referring to my Boolean data type variable, just the word jumping means true. So I don't need to say if jumping equals true, I just say if jumping. So you put the condition inside of parentheses. After the parentheses, go down to the next line, type an open curly brace, then press return or enter to go to the next line, close curly brace, up arrow, enter. Now we put what happens if the condition is true inside of curly braces. So there I will say event.target.y space plus equals space 100. And if he's in the air, he'll go back down when you click the button. We also want to set jumping to false. So let's go to the next line and type jumping, space equals space, false, and a semicolon. But we never ever set jumping to true. So we need a way to set jumping to true and have him jump up. So we'll click after the close curly brace of the conditional statement. Mine is on line 11. Yours might be on a different line. Just make sure it's under the if, then press enter, and then type else, E-L-S-E. And we don't need to type a condition like we did for the if statement because that just means if this condition is not true. So if he's not jumping, let's go to the next line. Open curly brace, next line, close curly brace, up arrow, enter. Now we'll set his Y positioning up 100 so he'll jump 100 pixels. So type event.target.y space minus equals 100. So if he's not jumping, make him jump. Make him move up 100 pixels. Now we need to set our jumping variable to true. So go to the next line and then type jumping, space equals space, true, semicolon, and then press Command Return or Control Enter to test the movie. Click on the border, he goes up. Click on him again, he goes down. Try it over and over and over again. Oh, that's great. Okay, that's how to write a conditional statement. And you don't always have to have an else, you can just have an if. But in this case, we do need an else statement. Just remember when you write a conditional statement, type the word if, then the condition goes in parentheses. Then what happens if that condition is true is inside of curly braces. And an else statement does not require any parentheses. In the next movie, we'll go further into how to evaluate if a condition is true by using something called conditional operators.